Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
I'm feeling peppy, you know why?
Why's that?
Because I just drank a glass of AG1.
Oh, what's
just
in
one
that?
scoop. One scoop aids with your gut health, your digestion. It gives
gut?
you all your daily vitamins. Just one, and it's delicious too.
Okay.
It's delicious. It's nutritious. It's AG1.
Why do they call it one? Is it like the best, or is it's the first in a
Yes.
series?
That's definitely why.
So like if I am of modest means, I have to like downgrade to like AG4 maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just one scoop gets you all your daily vitamins. AG1. Go to AG1.com. It's only $100 a month for a prescription of AG1. The multivitamin.
What are we doing?
Check it
Why
out.
are we doing this? They're not giving us anything.
Promo code Dave. AG1.
I just start
Check
going
it
to
out.
different websites and typing in my own name as the promo code. It'll work someplace.
Yeah. No, I never tried AG1. I kept writing the ads for Some More News, and I finally tried some last night, and it's actually good. Like I mean, it's still $100 a month for AG1. Don't get me wrong, but I was surprised that it's actually it's yummy. You guys should try AG1. It's delicious.
We gotta move on. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
We're on another episode of Hypecast!
Hypecast. I
Show
forgot
we
the
get
podcast.
hype about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell. That's me.
And I'm Drew Grant. You guys know me. You guys love me.
Drew.
I'm here repping.
Hey!
Hi. I got something to plug.
Plug
it's
it.
It's just Adderall. You said you were sleeping, and I remembered I had to take mine. So I'm just here to plug.
Adderall.
If I could just get a sponsorship from Adderall, that'd be great.
Me too.
Lifetime
Me too.
user, lifetime fan. Let's just put that out in the ether if we're doing AG1.
Oh yeah, Adderall is like the AG1 of pills.
I think
You know?
Adderall is the Adderall of pills, but go off.
Oh yeah, no, it's green. No, it's in powder. You could crush it into powder.
Can't.
You can sell it to college kids.
Not a thing. Oh, you can do sell it to college kids. That's true.
Yeah, I could sell AG1 to college kids. Tell them to snort
Don't
it.
tell me what I can't do.
Yeah. Drew, welcome. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Of
I'm going to
course.
talk
How are
at
you?
1/3 of the speed I normally talk. Let's see if that works. I have this little device now on my Zoom that can let me tell how fast I'm speaking. So I can.
That's a thing.
Yeah. It's like one of these app things to tell you if you're like over talking in meetings. I talk at twice the speed of a normal human being. Literally twice the speed. So we're gonna.
I love that there's something for that.
Yeah. There is.
Do we all sound and act slow? Is this like a hummingbird situation?
Do you
I do
see the
put you
world
guys-
like Quicksilver?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am actually forced to put on podcasts a lot of times at 1.25 to 1.5 speed. But it
Right.
the only thing that like weirds me out is then when Tom laughs, the laugh is like a little bit higher pitched.
Yeah, like a weird one.
Yeah. Other than that, it's like totally normal for me to listen to any podcast at 1.5 speed.
What I love about 1.5 speed is that like sometimes it'll accidentally go to it, and I'll have that moment to be like, why are they really energetic all of a sudden? Because you don't notice at first.
It makes
and
me
so like
happy.
they just sound like weirdly excited.
Yeah, no, I like it. Jeff May to me is always like at the most excited he could possibly be.
Yeah, maximum May.
Yeah, Max May.
Yep. Do you want to plug anything besides Adderall?
Oh,
at
yeah.
the start of this?
Of course. I mean, there's Adderall. There's other types of amphetamines. No, I want to plug
Cocaine. Yeah.
cocaine. Hell of a drug. Doesn't work on me. I would like to. This is gonna be a weird segue. I like to plug Passion Fruit, the new project I'm working on. Not really new. It's been like a year now, but we're finally getting the community membership off the ground. There's a Discord. There's a Patreon. There's like a membership program with mentorship. That's what I meant to say. Mentorship programs where you can learn about turning your creator work into small business stuff and get a lot of tax breaks and a lot of cool things. We have a really cool program being set up here, and it's really about helping creators, which are you guys. It's anyone who's monetizing on the internet right now, making stuff, making content. That's a gross word, but I'm still for fun.
Making the con. Yeah.
Making the con. We have a Friday afternoon show that kind of dovetails with your guys's Patreon event. But like, if you guys ever feel like taking a Friday off, you can come over and visit us while we do our hangout. But go check us out. We're really cool.
Passionfru.it.
.it. I think on Discord or Patreon, it's Discord. It's like discord.gg/passionfruit. I think that's it.
Sorry, I don't know any Discord. I forgot that Discord's like a web page. I don't know. That freaks me out.
We got a custom link. It's a custom link, so just discord.gg
that's cool.
/passionfruit. I think that will work.
All right, everybody check that out.
Yeah.
And speaking of plugs, we should probably name some of our producers
Man, Dave,
before
I
we
can't
get into movies.
wait.
Neither can I. Big old thank you to @NerdNumbers.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to 2001, A Space McNulty Odyssey.
Thank you.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to AJ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Andrew. Drew deserves more hype, McGuire.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you to Andrew Howard. Demands a single act of kindness. No.
You shall have none.
But thank you. Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you. Let me jump in here. Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brockway loves the meat millie.
Thank
you to Burrito wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska, because they loves y'all.
Pick it up.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparks, Esquire.
Thank
you.
And thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
Man,
All
let's,
right.
Dave, Drew, let's splish splash into these trailers.
Speaking of Splish Splash, the first one is Alien Romulus.
Yeah, there's a lot of splish
it's a wet
splash
ship.
into people's chests. Yeah, what is that? Why is
I don't know,
every
but it's-
ship in the alien universe so goddamn wet?
It is.
It's because he's doing crawl. I think I was on the last time we talked about Alien Romulus, so I'm like, I'm excited to talk about it again. But he's just didn't Fede Alvarez do crawl as well as Evil?
Crawl?
That was Alexander Aja.
Oh, you're right. I thought he was doing a crawl, guys. Nah, never mind.
No.
He's friends with that guy.
Crawl,
He has some-
Crawl,
Ele-
the alligator
Crawl. All right, that's a different movie.
Yeah.
Yes, than what I was thinking of.
movie. Yeah,
So I was like,
about
I don't think
the
it's
fucking
Crawl.
glaive and shit.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Oh no, go on.
I literally had nothing to say, but nah.
I haven't been this excited for a movie since honestly, when I was a kid and there was the stupid Godzilla teasers, where it was
That's
just
awesome.
oh fuck, these trailers are, I'm so psyched because it's so weird when you stand back from it that we haven't really, nobody said, hey, what if we made a horror alien movie? We haven't done that since Alien. Not really. They've all been thrillers or action horror. And it's really weird to me that we made Alien came out. It was a horror movie in space. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. And then it's the Terminator 2 effect, right? Because Aliens came out and everybody went, okay, let's do that. That was amazing.
This is pretty sweet.
But we never went back to it. Not really.
Well,
I mean,
And
it-
looking at
Is it because Ridley Scott has more creative control over the Alien franchise than James Cameron had over Terminator? Isn't it that thing?
I think that we had those first four, right? And those I thought were really neat. I really liked the different director takes. And again, they all had horror elements, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no.
But they all kind of leaned into action, right? Like,
I don't know. I wouldn't say Alien 3 does.
it's still kind of action.
And I also
though.
feel
Like-
like the most recent one, whatever the hell that was called,
Prometheus, Alien, Covenant, or
Covenant. That
Covenant.
one,
Oh,
that
well,
one, that's a horror movie, or at least I remember it being a horror movie.
Yes,
those are sci-fi. Those are like a
they're
totally
sci-fi.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say they're all kind of horror, but they're not cutting edge like Alien was when it came out, right? And it's weird that they don't like this one. Watching like the face hugger like try to slip its little dick in the guy's mouth, and you're just like, oh fuck, oh god. It's like it's weird.
Bite
we
it!
Haven't. Yeah, it's weird we hadn't seen a scene like that.
Actually,
before.
no, wait, don't
You
bite
want,
it.
you
Don't
want
do
the
that.
hentai version of Alien. That's what
Yeah.
you're asking for.
The
it's just weird
hentai
that-
version of Alien is Alien.
Oh yeah. No,
Dollar
like I think of
sign.
in Aliens. In Aliens, there's the part where she gets attacked in the face hugger
Yeah, yeah.
room, and it's genuinely scary.
Yeah.
And they do a little of that where she's like holding him back. But it's just weird that we didn't look at those moments and like go like, yeah, that's the core of Alien. And we got so bogged down with like lore. And don't get me wrong, I like a lot of the Aliens. I like Prometheus. I watched it recently.
I love
It's
Prometheus.
just weird that we hadn't thought like, what if we just do a fucking straight up gory ass haunted house?
Haunted house, yeah.
Because this literally has like thunder and lightning at the beginning.
How's
and
that
it's just,
happening
like,
in space?
Yeah.
That can happen. Solar storms.
Sure.
it looks like they're on a planet at the beginning, and then they go up into the ship.
So we've determined a couple things now that it's between the first two Alien movies is when this takes place, I believe.
I think so,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
So that means
I still hope it's Ripley's daughter.
it might be Ripley's daughter. I think that does mean David could still be a part of this. Technically, this could be the ship that. Oh, sorry. I don't know what that is. It still could be the ship that David was infesting the people on the end of Alien Covenant. I know.
Sure.
Big
I
David
don't
stan.
think they're gonna bring Alien Covenant into this.
I don't know the lore of. You're right. It's because it's this new director. I think he might just do a total reset.
Right, like even me saying I hope it's Ripley's daughter might be a very bad instinct, frankly.
Right.
Like I think maybe the director is like, this is just self-contained. We're resetting. We're hitting a hard reset. We're not worrying about the lore. It's kind of like that new Prey movie, right? Or the Predator, not new, I guess, but
Prey one.
the latest, where they're like, let's just go back to the basics, and the basics are good.
But the lore
you know?
that still kind of worked because they had the gun, that old musket. I
Yeah,
guess they
yeah,
reworked
sure,
the
yeah.
lore.
Yeah.
I think that like the idea that I would like to hold over, if anything holds over besides David, I want it to be that you can survive an alien being in your stomach as long as you have the right tech equipment. Like you can basically do like an alien C-section and get it out
Yeah,
of
like
you.
in Prometheus.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, then Prometheus. That's right. I want to
Takes that
believe that.
squid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then protects
do-
you.
I love this is another thing where there was something in this that I hadn't seen before. They have that X-ray light and for the chest burster. And it was like, oh shit. And I hadn't seen that before. That's great.
I've got one of those posters for the thing. Like it's one of these fan-made posters that like Gallery 1988 made. That's like an X-ray light that you actually can put up like with a light behind it, and it shows you like a dog inside of a person inside of a monster. It's really cool looking.
That sounds
sick.
sounds fun.
Yeah, I got cool
Yeah,
stuff.
this looks so fucking good. I don't know, man. I need this to come out now. I need this. I mean, I'm sure we've talked about like Alien is my first thing. It's before Jurassic Park. It's literally like
Yeah.
it's before Jaws for me. It is my first thing. It is like my first movie love. And so like to see like I haven't been disappointed with the new ones, but it never quite felt right.
No,
And this is
yeah.
this first one in a while that feels right.
See, I had the opposite thing. Whereas, first of all, to go back for a second, Godzilla was also my boyfriend's first ever like big hype movie trailer. Was watching that Godzilla 1998 trailer.
Yeah, they hyped the shit out of that movie.
Yeah,
they
he
did,
loved
man.
that.
For a
He
long
loved that.
time.
It's what made him want to become a trailer editor. Was that Godzilla teaser
Oh yeah.
trailer?
Well, they shot like additional material.
Yeah, they
like,
shot
Yeah.
stuff
I
that
love
was
that.
just for the trailer, yeah.
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 But secondly, I got into Alien in college. I think I was really late on Alien, and I remember thinking this is just really like dirty. Like my aesthetic at the time was very like Lynchian and already like kind of pretentious and whatever. And I remember thinking Alien was just like I don't know, blue collar or something. So when Prometheus came out, I was like, here is like the highbrow, aesthetic version of the Alien movie, dealing with the Blade Runner sort of humanoid things. But
we will drink wine and watch Prometheus.
Exactly.
The wine and cheese, please.
Discuss it after.
We will open the ARGs and find the secret sites. The Lindelof lore is what I'm talking
The
about.
butler plays the piano behind us.
Yeah.
And that is David. But no, you guys know what I feel. I think David's one of the best villains of the 20th and 21st
He's
century.
great.
Oh yeah, I love David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love
Cool.
the casting of that. Idris Elba, man. I don't know.
Sick, yeah.
yeah.
Tom, I need you to get out what you said in this because this doesn't bother me, but I can see why this would be a problem.
Right. I'd forgotten I wrote that down. I guess I'm just noticing this a lot lately. But I wish they wouldn't. This trailer ends with the tinnitus sound, which that's the boop thing, for like 10 or 15 seconds. And I have tinnitus.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's like the flashy lights, right? Where
it's
like,
like the strobe lights. Like a lot of movies are doing this, or at least I'm hearing it a lot.
It's this generation's or this year's version of the clock ticking in the background, or the
that's still in this. That's in the fucking. We'll talk about that trailer later. Like, it's still in fucking trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going out for the tinnitus noise, which is also in the one for the Shush Monsters Part 3 prequel.
Mm-hmm.
That also has that tinnitus noise. I know exactly what you mean, Tom.
Yeah.
Anyway, stop.
I don't notice it, but I'm going to start noticing it now thanks to this.
It hurts.
Yeah. Should we get to our next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Venom: The Last Dance. I love that it's called The Last Dance.
Oh man, I love these trash ass movies.
Yeah.
This is the best trailer I've ever seen.
There's a Venom horse in it. I took a
Venom horse.
screenshot and sent it to Dave immediately when I saw the trailer.
Yeah, it's Venom horse.
I think there might be something wrong with me. I saw this and I cried. I was like, this is the most.
I mean, I wept the joyful tears of a delighted child on Christmas morning.
No, when I realized that The Last Dance was the title, I realized that one of them might die, and I got really sad. Even though I don't like these movies, I'm talking too fast. Slow down. Even though I don't necessarily love the Venom movies, this trailer did something to me that was really well done. First of all, Ground Control to Major Tom. Like, that was a great use of that song, which is kind of overplayed in trailers. Isn't that it? Or is it Space Oddity? Yeah.
Space
It was so
Oddity.
good. Oh, Space Oddity, right.
The director of this, Kelly Marcel, this is her first directing debut.
Great. Nothing to lose.
Venom 3, which is amazing. It should be noted that she wrote the first Venom. Mm-hmm. She also wrote 50 Shades of Grey, the adaptation.
Oh, no, never mind.
And Saving Mr. Banks.
Sweet.
So,
Oh,
like,
God.
best career.
Oh, God. Okay, did she write this Venom movie or just direct it?
I think she wrote and directed. Let me check. She wrote and directed.
Okay,
She's an auteur.
So I have this theory that
The
Marvel.
Venom suit on Walt Disney.
She's an actress as well.
But I have this theory that Sony is really trying to, with Madam Web and Morbius and Kraven, and I guess with Venom, is actively trying to do a producers, like the movie The Producers. Like, they're trying to tank the properties so, like, Disney is forced to buy them back or whatever. Like, I truly believe this. And so maybe they think this is going to suck because, like, the second Venom kind of sucked, but, like, I think this is going to be awesome.
Still made money. All these movies make money.
That's what I was going to say, because I saw a lot of tweets like, I can't believe they're making a third one. How are they making a third one? And, like, how is Tom Hardy, of all people, in it? And you look at what they are on paper, and they all cost $100 million, which sounds like a lot, but it isn't anymore. That's like $60 million today, which is still a lot, but it's not a lot for what they're doing. They each costed about $100 million to make. They all made a profit, not a huge profit. They didn't make $1 billion.
That first one did.
Yeah,
what about
but
Madam Web?
They still made Madam Web did not.
No, Madam Web
that's
tanked.
different.
Yeah. Morbius tanked too.
These are.
I think
also
you might be right about those. Sorry. Dave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. These are all self-contained. They have a little bit of ending credits, Spider-Verse shit. But for the most part, they've just stayed in their universe. Tom Hardy is a delight. And I've gone on record saying I don't love these movies. They haven't wowed me. But looking at them, and it's so funny because I don't know if I've lowered the bar or what, but looking at them, I'm like, out of all the superhero movies coming out, these kind of they know where they stand,
Yep.
and they're doing a very good job at what they do.
100% agree. I also think that like they all have been different genres. Like they are different genred films, and this one looks like another type of genre. Like the first one was like, this kind of like regular kind of horror one that becomes like kind of buddies. The second one's like that buddy cop who splits up kind of story. Like I can do better without you. And this third one is kind of like them reuniting, but they all kind of play with different genres of that, like buddy cop, like mixed mashed pairing. However, I will say, Tom Hardy's had 3 fucking movies to get Eddie Brock's voice right, and I feel like he never does any single 2 lines the same way. Like they know 2 lines. I mean, he's got Venom's voice down, but like Eddie Brock goes from like a high nasal, like New York voice.
He should
to be
do like a Cockney accent in this. He should do something wild.
Just every scene, it's a different voice.
He mumbles. I understand why Christopher Nolan wants to put that guy in a face mask and then ADR his lines for every movie, because like he just does not have a sense of where his vocal range is on this
He
Eddie
does not
Brock.
cooperate.
Yeah.
I feel like every movie, there's a point where the director goes, "Cut, Tom, cut the shit, Tom."
He's like, no. He's like, no,
Come
I talk
on,
like
What
man.
are
this.
you doing?
Yeah, dial it.
Are you
back.
spinning a wheel to pick a voice?
Yeah.
Here's my thought, is that his voice is Venom's voice. That is the voice he is comfortable using. And so when it's like the Superman Clark Kent thing, right? So when he's talking as Eddie, he doesn't quite have the persona of what he's like normal voice should be. He's just the superhero version of himself, like Tom Hardy the actor. So I thought that scene, the shot where he's dancing with the convenience store clerk, that woman from the convenience store in the first 2 movies, that was gorgeous. Oh my god,
that
I get
great.
psyched. Oh
I
god.
I like it. This reminds me, and they should make a 4th Venom just to get these directors. The directors of fucking Crank, when they did the second Ghost Rider, it gave me those vibes where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get really fucking weird.
Oh
up
yeah,
in
this
here.
looks weird as shit.
And we're gonna get really, really weird and dumb and fun. It's that.
And
where,
Venom's
like,
gonna die. I mean, like that's the
Maybe.
implication, right? The last dance. I mean, unless they do like a Guardians thing. I don't know. I watched the trailer, then I stopped and rewatched again and started bawling at that scene because I was like, oh no, I think this means that the implication is there's one of them's gonna have to eat it. I don't know. I got that vibe.
I do not believe it's comic book. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just any comic book who's like, I mean, they're going to bring back Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Like they're 100%
As soon as they shoot enough money at him through a slingshot.
Yeah.
You saw Chiwetel Ejiofor, and that's him, right? And then, or is that?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's in
yeah,
this.
he's
So
in this.
you see him in the Marvel or like the MCU universe, because he's there where Tom Hardy was at the end of Spider-Verse No Way Home. Like he's in that Mexican bar that's in the post-credit scenes because he's with that guy from Ted Lasso. So you see him for a brief second in this trailer being in the MCU universe, which is weird because Chiwetel Ejiofor is already in the MCU universe. Isn't he in Doctor Strange?
Yeah, none of that matters.
Okay. Just
Yeah,
wanted to-
Honestly, the worst thing this movie can do is try to do any of that.
I think that's done with. I think they're not doing any of that.
I think so too. It seems like they're like, let's put a horse on. Let's put Venom on a horse and see what happens.
I love that these are trash movies that aren't trying to really be more than that. I love how weird they are. That's what's fun about them for me.
Yeah,
I love
don't
that he never met Spider-Man. He's not met Spider-Man. He's
Nope.
Yeah. I don't think it's about lowering the bar when I say that, like, this. It's nice to see movies that know what they are and aren't trying to be. It's that thing where everything was trying to be a cinematic universe, and it's just like sometimes The Mummy isn't a cinematic
Right.
universe, you know? Sometimes it's just a movie, and
Sometimes.
maybe you'll make a few sequels, and then you're done. And it's like every movie has been trying to be like, let's make the biggest fucking, let's make this a franchise, let's make this its own corporation. And it's nice to watch the Venom movies be like 100 million each. They're just about this gooey guy, and Tom Hardy's doing a voice.
This is
And this is probably the last
very
one.
wet alien.
Yeah.
I have a good counterpoint to that, Tom, but but Dave, but we'll get to that in a second, like later on
Alright.
today. But I think some things deserve to have its cinematic universes, but not,
Sure.
but not the big budget stuff. Different
Yeah.
things, yeah.
Oh yeah, when it's like the scribbles of a madman cinematic
Yeah.
universe. Should we talk about the Killer's Game?
Probably.
This is Dave Bautista.
Bautista.
And
This is
and
great.
He plays the character Joe Flood. So for context, this
Solid
is
name.
directed by the director of Day Shift. Remember Day Shift?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that gives me so much hope.
Yeah, Day Shift was pretty fun.
Yep.
It is Dave Bautista. It's very stupid. He Bullworths himself. He puts a hit on himself because he gets a diagnosis,
Yeah.
a
Is that
terminal
what's-
diagnosis.
He's short timing himself.
I'm so sorry. Is that the plot of Bullworth? He puts a hit out for
That's
himself?
part
People
of the plot
forget that's the
of Bullworth.
inciting incidents of Bull. Yeah, that's more to
thought he was
Bullworth than just that.
It's also what I call a Terry from season 5 of True Blood. Like that's that arc for me. But that's my frame of reference, not Bullworth, which I only thought was about a rapping senator.
Oh no, he's
Oh, no,
super
it
gets
also
shot
is
in
very
the
much
end.
about that.
Oh shit!
Spoilers for Bullworth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
spoilers for 1996's Bullworth.
Oh man.
Yeah, with Warren Beatty doing raps with
Yep.
Halle Berry. I want
Yeah,
to say.
it is
Halle
Halle Berry.
Berry.
I think she's looking
My God.
askew at him. I'm not sure if she's rapping with him, but I will say that this one has that clever twist where he like finds out that he doesn't actually have a brain tumor.
Right.
Like the doctor just makes
Yeah.
up a scan. So now he has to call the hit off. It's him and Mantis from Guardians.
Yeah, Palm Clementoff.
Yeah,
It looks real good.
Yeah, I
This
love
is,
the premise there where he like goes to her to do the hit, and she hates him so much that she refuses to call it off. That's a fun. That's a fun bit.
yeah, I like that. I do have to shout out the screenwriter who is the writer of XXX State of the Union, X-Men: The Last Stand, Jumper, X-Men: Days of Future Past, The Fantastic Four, the 2015 one,
Okay.
X-Men: Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, and so this is all the same. Maybe this one. It's been a run. I wouldn't blame any of those movies on the screenwriter, for the record.
Dark Phoenix.
They also did Sherlock Holmes, the Guy Ritchie one. So it's
Okay.
yeah, they're doing the studio system, but it's like they haven't had great luck. It seems like where
Those
these
X-Men movies were
movies-
good. Those X-Men movies were started out very strong.
yeah.
You know, so they did X3 that he didn't do First Class.
I like Days of Future Past.
I
all
love
right.
that's my favorite one, Days of Future
Yeah.
Past. But you're telling me they
A lot
didn't do
of
First
these-
Class, but they did.
But a lot of these I feel like weren't the screen like Fantastic Four is not the screenwriter's fault,
No.
right? Well, it famously wasn't. But they're also doing the Logan's Run remake.
who's
This
in
guy's
that?
got a whole thing going.
Who's in Logan's Run remake? Do we have a cast for that?
Oh man.
Sorry,
who
never mind.
cares?
Never mind.
Who? Why are they? Why?
I don't
Why
know.
make a Logan's Run remake? Who's that for?
Gen Z.
Anyway,
I mean, if
will
not
say-
us,
yeah,
then who?
Not
it's
us.
not for young people either.
My
But
thought.
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say it's nice to watch Dave Bautista get to play not a dummy
Yes.
because he always plays a dummy, and this one he's like clever and witty,
Not always.
and it's like, that's interesting.
he
mean,
wasn't
like,
obviously not Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, Knock the Cabin.
He's barely in Blade Runner.
That's
and
true.
It's
Not
whenever
the Cabin, he's like cryptic, right? Like it's this is all to say it's nice to see him play like a smirky, funny guy.
not the comedic foil, like not the
Yeah, that's
guy
what
that
it
jokes
is.
on. Yeah.
Whenever he's funny, he's Drax, right? So
Yeah.
it's nice to see him play like I'm the guy I'm like the Ryan Reynolds.
I'm the quippy guy.
Yeah.
Isn't it the John Wick's producers? Because you do get that sense too. It's a world of assassins, right? So she calls the hit out, and there's like a jump cut of 4, or it's like a, you get the cut of
It's a
4
s-
different people that are going to be coming after him, and one of them
It's
is
a
the
stunt director, yeah.
Terry
one of
Crews,
them. Terry Crews is one, and then one of them is the other director of John Wick, the one from that Barry episode, where he like.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the guys. So I don't. This seems great. I'm all in.
This seems great and I'm worried about it. And what I mean by that is this even coming in theaters?
I'm not
Has to,
sure.
right? What?
I'm worried about it because I think it's going to completely blend in with everything else. Like kind of like the Fall Guy did. You know what I mean? Like I get that vibe where I think action movies really have to stand out now. And this looks legit. This looks really good. But like Daywatch was another movie that I felt like came and went. And if you go back and watch that, it's really fun. That's a really fun movie that I don't think enough people saw.
I think that this one has that enough of that Marvel MCU crossover of like, oh, you want to see Drax and Mantis like interact as different characters, right? Like I was looking
And
at this.
Ben Kingsley.
And Ben
Got that
Kingsley.
buff.
Holy
Kingsley,
crap.
yeah.
Scott Adkins is all over this too.
Yeah.
so
Oh,
that's
hell yeah,
good.
he is.
It doesn't have the same kind of like amount of supporting cast. Like none of those other people in the lineup of assassins were famous that I could recognize.
Terry Crews was there.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's the Willem
we mentioned
Dafoe,
him.
I think. Yeah, I think Terry Crews is like the Willem Dafoe. He's in that weird lineup where they do wump, bump, 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 and they show you 4 people that she sent after him. I think
Right.
those are like the people usually get stunt. That would be Aaron Taylor Johnson or the stunt character actors, but none of them besides the guy who directed the John Wick movie, or and was in that Barry episode. Not Chad, the other guy.
The lady from Rebel Moon.
Oh, David Leitch.
Yeah.
The lady from Rebel Moon's in this.
Really?
Yeah.
Which part? Part 1. The
Both
think
of
she
them.
was the Scar-
Sophia
yeah.
Boutella. She's the scar
Is she
giver
the
Oh, the
Scar
herself.
mummy.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
the
the
mummy.
mummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you for her as a rebel person. That's funny.
Yeah. Listen, it's her most recent blockbuster.
I think I find Dave Bautista a lot more of a box office appeal than I find someone like The Rock or Ryan Reynolds. So I would say
I
that.
agree with The Rock, yeah.
But see, I agree, but I'm not sure the world agrees.
No, the world does not agree, but the world's
That's
wrong.
what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean about this movie. Is I bet this is a very good movie, and I'm scared for it. I hope it does well, but I don't think it will. It deserves to do well.
I'm afraid people are going to see it and think it's another Red Notice or another one of the one of these kind of quippy, Hobbs and Shaw.
That's what I mean.
Fall Guy. Yeah, I see what you're
I
saying.
think Red Notice did a lot of damage to the world.
I mean,
That is a
you-
black hole of a movie. It
Did I even
blends
watch it?
together with like 5 different things, all of them on Netflix.
And that's what I mean is like,
Yeah,
you
I'm
get these
pretty
action
sure
movies-
I haven't watched it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Have you read Lon Harris's dissertation on what makes a red notice? Like what makes
No,
a
I
movie a
haven't.
red notice? Oh, it's very good. It's very strong.
But this feels like it has that Netflix lighting, like it's got that like bright look. I think the Fall Guy fell into this unfortunately as well, where
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it
I
looks
see
a
what you
certain
did.
way. Yeah, that you your brain kind of goes like, I don't need to store this trailer. Like you watch it before a movie and your brain's like, don't worry, you don't have to pay attention to this one.
I would
yeah,
say
I
that
don't
about
know.
it, especially the title isn't great. The title isn't doing it for me because that's
Every
never
time I look away, I forget the title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it has the
I-
producers of John Wick. Yeah.
The title has left my head. What is it called?
I
The
genuinely
killer.
don't
The
know.
Killer Thoughts.
The Killer's Game.
Killer's Game. What?
Hell yeah, I got it.
What does it mean? Okay, whatever. Moving
It's
on.
the Killer's Game. It's the
Sure.
game
Yeah,
he
let's-
plays. Let's
I
move
thought
on.
this was another one.
Yes.
I thought this was another
All right.
one.
Let's talk about WondLas.
WondLads.
WondLa.
Okay.
I put a Z in the WondLa.
Oh, WondLa.
And-
Okay, I thought it was
WondLa.
WondLass. That's what you had
No,
written
it's
in the doc.
WondLa.
Okay.
Well, I know why I wrote the Z because
it's
I looked into this. Yeah, I looked into this, folks. WondLa. All right, maybe there's like not millennials. We're millennials. Maybe there's like some young people listening and they go like, I instantly know what WondLa is. I don't because I'm an elderly. And so I looked into it and I'm like, oh, I guess this is a 3-part children's book or a young adult book.
I think it's
And
like
wh-
middle school.
It's YA. It's
I
a
don't
YA
know.
book.
Yeah.
I thought this was an adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. Like I was like, WondLa, is that Wonderland? And I looked into it for that reason, and it turns out it's the name. I hope this isn't a spoiler. Is based off them looking at a book that's a damaged copy of Wizard of Oz.
Right.
So it's so I just need to point that out because that's the exact same plot or motivation behind Zardoz, the
Oh,
Sean Connery classic.
That's funny. Yeah, I gotta say I hate a lot about this trailer. I hate like the animation style. I think it's Zachary Quinto's voice playing the computer. I hate the sound of the goats. I just really nothing about this trailer appeals to me. However, when you said it was Wizard of Oz, I put it together that like, yeah, she's living in like this. So I guess the premise of the film is this girl is living in a spaceship. Maybe someone else can describe this better.
Habitat, basically.
Yeah.
It's like it's a little like reminds me of that game like Horizon or like Fallout. Basically, she's
Yeah.
in like a Fallout shelter with nobody else except like a little AI mom figure, and then she has to get out because some creature or entity invades her space, and then she goes up to the world, and it's Earth, but untold millennia in the future, and a different race has taken over, numerous different races. It looks like an alien planet.
And
But she's
it-
trying to find, the source of this message that was left for her to say,
Well,
find me in
I also
WondLa.
want to I need to note that WondLa, if you're wondering how is that short for Wizard of
Wonderful
Oz,
Land of Oz or some shit.
by L. Frank Baum.
Oh.
And so they're really stretching that, like the whole title, including the author name, basically forms it.
Not to be a dork, but with Wicked coming out, I do have to mention that like the goats, like the talking goats, that's like a kind of a big part of the Wicked story, and also like kind of I think the original Wizard of Oz lore is that there were talking animals and like, you know, this kind of different world. So it's almost like a Wizard of Oz thing, except instead of a cyclone or a tornado or whatever, she's been like kind of like in stasis or like underground somewhere. And so it's almost like the way that AI is sort of Wizard of Oz. Or not Wizard of Oz. Yeah, don't they have a Wizard of Oz reference in AI, or is that the Blue Fairy?
Blue Fairy.
That's
That's
Blue
Pinocchio.
Fairy.
It's Pinocchio, yeah.
But you know,
which makes sense.
You know, it's that kind of like very tertiary side thing to it where I'm not sure. I haven't read the novels, but I feel like I could see where they could pull inspiration from Oz. I still don't like the trailer. I don't like how the goats talk. I think it's kind of racist sounding.
Yeah, you went off on this trailer in the notes.
Yeah, I also think I legitimately spoiled it because I realized like so I think it's their fault because if you name something WondLa, my instinct was like, why is it called that?
Yeah, mine
That
too.
was my first thought. Was like, why is it called WondLa? That's a weird. So I just Googled why is it called that, and I'm looking at it more, and I guess that's like something that happens at the end.
What?
Much like Zardoz. If you remember, that's a reveal in Zardoz.
I barely
But,
remember
like,
Zardoz. I remember him aging into oblivion at the end, like the
You
end
don't
of
remember
Conan.
Oh my
the
god.
lessons about the penis in Zardoz?
Vaguely. It's
yeah.
been too long since we've watched Zardoz, Dave.
Yeah. We need to rewatch
I mean, it's
Zardoz.
time. It's time to go back to Zardoz.
We
but
gotta go
they-
back to the Zardoz.
I would argue Zardoz, when you hear Zardoz, you just go, okay, that's a stupid future name. Got it. WondLa, like, it pinged me enough to look into it. So I would argue they
you can
spoil
tell
it
it's short
themselves.
for something, or like
Yeah.
you can tell it's a cryptic word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to never see this movie, but I am excited to see Wicked, which is coming
It's
out soon.
This is an Apple TV show, for the record.
Oh, it's a show?
So I might have spoiled a season of a show. I hope that's not like everything's load bearing on that reveal because that would be bad for them. But I kind of liked this trailer, to be honest. I when I first watched it, I was like, this could have been a live action. It felt like a live action.
It should have been a live action.
That's actually what I was thinking when I was watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did we do it this way? It made me think of like it's got these same animation styles like Reboot. Like
I honestly, yeah. Once they showed all that George Lucas-ass creatures, I lost interest because I thought at first like, oh, this would be a cheaper way of doing like an adult or like young adult sci-fi thing that's serious. Is like, oh yeah, let's make like kind of a darker kids cartoon, and you save on the budget in theory by making it animated. Probably not, but
maybe
you know.
does it look like AI animated? Maybe that's what's bugging me out. Like there's a kind of
maybe.
it looks like a kind of computer animation that there's something about it I'm like not
I didn't
into.
get that vibe from it.
Oh,
I just
maybe.
think it doesn't look very good.
I liked the beginning offer, but then once they get into the fucking land
I sort
of
of
bullshit,
lost interest in it after that. But the beginning offer was good, so maybe there's more of that.
maybe.
I just want to double check to make sure that the cast is Zachary Quinto playing the.
I do not see his name.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Alan Tudyk's there because
of course.
of course he is. Yeah, you can't make a cartoon with the two.
No, he just shows up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry
he just
to-
worms in.
Sorry to whoever I assumed was Zachary Quinto. Then again, we don't have everyone's voice up on the cast list, so maybe.
Let's move on.
Yep.
Okay, Bookworm.
Yes.
This movie looks awesome.
This is awesome. Hunt for
So-
the Hobbit people.
So yeah, first of all, this is Elijah Wood as a magician dad who's apparently just
Like
meeting his
a
daughter.
deadbeat
Illusionist.
magician dad.
Yeah,
He's an illusionist, Michael.
yeah, and it's everybody's doing a made up New Zealand voice. The little girl, fake voice.
Really?
Fake voice. It's a fake voice. No one talks like that there, but it's New Zealand, and it's very funny to watch because I'm almost certain there are shots in this where I'm like, I'm almost certain you were there in Lord of the Rings. Like, there's a few locations where I'm like, is that the same spot? Like, it's clearly Elijah Wood just like hanging out in Middle Earth again.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Just
literally
doing the
Hunt for
tour.
It's literally just Hunt for the Wilder People, though, in terms of plot. Like, it just, him and his estranged daughter go on this time
But
with the daughter.
I gotta drop some news about who made this. I don't know if you looked into who made this.
Oh, no,
I don't know.
I didn't.
Oh.
This
I don't
trailer
know if-
looks so charming.
Oh, where?
Oh no, this is good news.
Oh, it's
This
good
is good
news.
news.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is
I
good
thought you were,
news.
I see
thought you
who
were
it is.
bracing me for something.
No.
I thought you were about to tell
This
me like
is the
fucking Mel
writer.
Gibson made it or some shit.
No, yeah.
No, this is awesome.
So they reincarnated Hitler, you see, and he
And
made.
this is
no.
all he would
This is-
talk about. It was just this screenplay.
I
This
don't
is
know if this
awesome.
is gonna wow you guys like it wows me. This is the writer director of Come to Daddy. Yeah.
Come to Daddy, and the producer of Housebound.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other fucked up shit.
Yeah.
This is like one of Elijah Wood's
Man,
partners
I
in
need
crime.
to-
I feel like
I need to
It
watch
is.
those movies.
Come to Daddy is fucked up.
Come to Daddy
It's
is
fucking
amazing.
Weird, and it's
Oh.
so good.
Oh, it's
It's-
so good.
It's one of those
So-
things. It's like learning that like the Greasy Strangler director made this. It's
Oh.
not that bad, but Come to Daddy is not that fucked up, but it's very fucking weird and very fun.
It's got one of the best sequences of all time, which is the Elton John,
Yeah.
the Elton John one-upmanship. Elijah Wood plays a total creep, like poser, weird LA guy in that too. But
Yeah.
it's got a great cast. Come to Daddy is a fan-fucking-tastic film. Everyone, please
It
go
really
see it.
is.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in ages. But it's wild that he's making this movie because of that movie is just so fucking weird. And this looks so delightful and more like family friendly.
Yeah.
And that's so silly.
Stephen McHattie, that's the other guy from Come to
Yes.
Daddy, who's incredible. Stephen McHattie is my favorite. That's the Pontypool guy, right? And he's in Haunter.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
so good in
He's
Come
a,
to Daddy.
he's a Watchman. And
Oh.
The Fountain.
yeah.
You all seen Pontypool though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Love me
that
some
one,
Ponties.
it has definitely been a minute. I need to revisit that one too.
My favorite
Yeah.
zombie film is Pontypool.
But the fact that it's this director, I'm like, oh no, what's gonna be like? What?
No.
How is this gonna go off the rails?
I think this is just his very sweet Wes Anderson-y Hunt for the Wilder
I
People
think so
one.
too.
Like I think
Yeah.
there's a real sense here. Like Drew Daywalt, who makes he made a lot of those YouTube horror shorts, like during the first writers thing in 2010, or like when there was that break all the writers had in 2010. He made a bunch of horror shorts online, but then he made that kids book, The Day the Crayons Quit, and now he's like only famous for this really cute kids book that was like a New York Times bestseller. He's done like several of them, but I still know him as a guy interviewed for Salon for his really fucked up YouTube horror shorts. So it's like, this would be the equivalent of like David F. Sandberg doing a kids movie. You can believe that it would happen. It doesn't have to stay in genre. I just think
Yeah.
Elijah Wood maybe is trying to branch out his themes a little more. There's very Wes Anderson-y vibes. I don't think there's a dark turn here. It's very like emotional core. She feels abandoned. Her dad doesn't visit.
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
you're probably
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
I think it's going to be more straightforward. A little bit of Bad News Bears in there because she's cursing at him
Yeah.
all the time.
Are
Yeah.
we sure that she's not New Zealand? I just assumed that was a real accent.
Oh,
No,
I'm
Dave
just-
is, yeah.
I am proposing the idea that everybody is faking it.
Yes,
in New Zealand.
the New Zealand
It's
accent
way too
itself
quaint
is
of an
make-believe,
accent.
is what
Oh,
Dave
I-
is saying.
Oh, I believe that.
Can I briefly derail us only because I accidentally clicked on Elijah Wood, looked at what another thing he's doing.
Oh, he's amazing.
He is a voice in the Among Us TV series, which
The
of
what?
course they're going to make that. But I just have to say that the other cast is Dan Stevens and Patton Oswalt and Wayne Knight, and I'm like, oh, I
What?
guess I'm going to watch the Among Us TV series.
Oh my god. First of all,
It's madness.
what is Dan Stevens doing? I love him.
plays-
Whatever
Blue.
he wants.
He
He's
does-
playing Blue.
He just shows that he's playing blue.
Oh, did you guys watch the new Godzilla Kong?
yeah.
No, not
What's he
yet.
doing, man? What's
No,
he doing?
Haven't seen it
I
yet.
got it. Okay, you should actually. It's legit. I kind of wish I saw it in theaters. It was a
It's so
lot of
good.
fun. And Dan Stevens comes on set and he's like, "I'm gonna just do this thing," and they're like, "Yeah, go for
And
it."
is this
And
thing
he's-
a fake Australian accent? Because yes, it is.
Yes.
It's a fake
He
Australian.
sounds like a man doing a fake Australian
He is.
accent in it.
He is
Yes.
doing a fake Australian
Oh
accent.
no, but I mean, like the accent
Right.
sounds like a man
The
doing
character.
it. Like I thought he was going to reveal he wasn't Australian.
I thought the same thing. I was like, "Where's the heel turn where he's going to reveal this is fake?" This is before Abigail or anything. But Dan
Yeah.
Stevens just has like the best life. I feel like
does.
he just
Yeah,
he just comes on and tells them what he's going to do.
We were
Tom,
talking
real
about
quick,
it in Abigail, where it's just like
Oh, yeah.
he's got like the the Brad Pitt thing, I guess, where he looks like a leading man, but he's just a weirdo.
So my theory is that he goes into Roll's accent first, because that was the same with Abigail, where she's like, "You're from Queens," and everyone's like, "Oh," and it's like, yo, he talks like he's like about to tell Spider-Man.
He's talking like a Ninja Turtle.
He's about to tell Green Goblin what's going to happen when Spider-Man is messed with. Like,
you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah, he's the Queen's cop. Oh my God, she's got such good deductive reasoning. By the way, I love that movie, so no shade.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Tom, Dan Stevens plays a kaiju vet.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out at you.
Of course he does.
No spoilers, but he's the good guy?
Yeah, he's good. No, I mean, I know what you mean, where I was like, is he going to be bad? For the record, that movie is
big. Yeah.
Yeah. That movie's not trying to do anything special. It's just a lot of fun.
It is trying to be Fast Five.
I guess a little bit, yeah.
It is the exact same plot beat for beat of Fast Five, including an ending scene where they just wreck Rio de
I have
Janeiro.
to watch it.
Yeah.
Is Godzilla gonna ramp a car? That's awesome.
Here's what I'll say. I mean, it's Adam Wingard. He's not doing another after this.
No.
And if you remember, I still like the one before this. There was too much shit, right? If you remember, they were trying to bridge.
Yeah.
I like
But they were trying to bridge like the old plot before he came in with like new plot. This one, it's stripped away, and that's what makes it better. Is because he doesn't have to contend with like 16 characters. He just keeps it. He's like two things are happening.
Yeah.
What's happening with Godzilla and what's happening with Kong.
Wait,
and
y'all-
we're just gonna follow those two plots, and we're done.
Y'all watched Monarch, right?
No.
Not yet.
Oh my God.
This-
That's the best Godzilla offering of this universe is been
Godzilla. Yeah, the new Godzilla Kong made me go like, maybe I should watch Monarch.
Oh,
'Cause
Monarch
this
is so fucking good, guys. I'm not even joking. Like, it is very well made. I don't know who was the show. Oh, I think it had a really good showrunner. It was like a big name, but it's really strong, and like just having enough time to actually go into that world of Monarch, of like what their deal is. They literally say at one point, we're like the CIA for Godzilla. Like,
Hell yeah, they are.
Yeah, you got Kurt Russell and Riot Russell playing old and young versions of themselves. Like, it's
That's way too much stuff to watch.
Oh,
I guess I have to watch all this now. So yeah, that was our review of Bookworm, the trailer.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, whoa.
Let's move on.
All right, this is the Moor. I had this on my short list for more hype, and I just pulled the trigger on it because it's not well known. It's got like kind of the witch vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
I just love a good Moor. I love a good Moor. I love it when it's like this is like a misty flat area where there's like howling and maybe it's haunted.
Possibly a werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Eat
thought that
Griffin
had more.
Dunn. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we're not.
some
He's not
hounds.
talking about Othello. He's talking about.
Good.
I'm talking about lists of, like Moors.
Yeah, like what is it? It's like a swamp. What is a moor
Yeah,
actually?
It's where it's a swampy hill because it's where Heathcliff and Catherine die in
also where
Blinding Heights. That's
yeah, it's where the Hound of the Baskervilles is too.
It's a Glen
A
or a
Glen.
Lee.
Yeah.
After playing doing a lot of crosswords,
A Glen
I realized
or a Lee or a Ted.
But
Yeah.
it's like a hill, right? Doesn't a hill have to be involved?
a Glen is a hill. I play so much crosswords. I learned that there's like 50 words for swampy area. It
I know,
turns
it's
out,
bullshit.
And they all, yeah, it's so weird.
I remember the Peep Show episode where they get lost on like the moors on the night that Sophie is getting proposed to by Mark. Anyway, also real quick, not to put a button on it, Matt Shackman is the guy from Monarch. I forgot that guy.
Oh, okay.
The Always Sunny guy who went to Game of Thrones and then did what, WandaVision? Yep, that's
Yes.
Anywho,
cool. Yep.
the Moor. What do you guys think of this?
I was
This
really
looked
into
really
this.
good.
This looks like
Yeah.
nice and spooky.
It looks real. I love this.
I love how sparse it is. Like it gave me an old school feel, but like a specific kind of old school, not like drive-in or not like slasher old school, but like
No, like
Wicker
old
Man
school.
old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite vibe in the whole
Dave
world.
Eggers. Yeah.
Dave Eggers. My favorite vibe can be summed up in that movie, The Woman in Black, which is a weird
Oh,
movie, but
really?
that's like my general vibe when I like
That's a
like Sleepy
surprisingly
Hollow.
not bad movie. I like Sleepy Hollow a lot too.
Yeah, Women in Black is I rewatched it. That movie's legit.
It's
Have
not
you ever seen
bad. It's not bad.
Have you ever seen Lady in White?
No, does
that's-
she fight the woman
Woman in Black?
No.
Yeah.
Lady in White is the very young Lucas Hawes, like a baby Lucas Hawes. But anyway, but
Yeah,
I like movies like that too. It's what do you call a gothic horror? A traditionally
Gothic
gothic horror,
horror. Yeah.
the others maybe a little bit.
Yep. The others.
Oh, yeah,
I love
for
the
sure,
others. The Mike Flanagan's. Haunting
Haunted
a
Hill.
Hill House and Bly Manor. So this feels like gothic horror to me without, like you said, Wicker Man, a little more contemporary, I
Yeah,
want to say.
not camp in the way that Wicker Man sort of is, but
The,
Yeah.
the
but yeah,
Scottish
you nailed it's gothic. That was that's
Yeah.
that's the word.
There's a
That's the
certain
word.
breed of like Scottish, Irish, that kind of Wales area that has been turning out those kind of movies. Like that, I think on a regular basis. Like Dark Song was another really good.
I like Dark Song.
You know, that's kind of got that gothic vibe. Housebound a little bit, but there's,
Housebound, yeah.
it's like there's also like the Japanese version of that, like that. You know, Handmaiden isn't a great example because there's no real horror in that, but like that kind of
Yeah, there's
vibe
a
of that.
general horror in that one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, like there's or Korean, I guess not Japanese, but there's just like a lot of that going around. It's just not American because we don't have a country old enough to like.
Yeah, we don't have moors.
Yeah.
We have swamps, and they're they can't be creepy. Well, they're creepy in a different way. They're
Right.
creepier in the I'm gonna be shot way.
Yeah. It's always gonna be
Or
like.
killed by an alligator, I guess.
I guess we could always go back to like the Civil War land of bad decline thing, where it's like you're getting haunted by a Civil War era ghost, but that's not as scary
Yeah.
as like the spooky Victorian.
Yeah,
you know,
it really isn't. There's something about like somebody in like a powdered wig and like a frilly collar is just
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
more spooky than Johnny Reb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
And,
He's too close to me in age. Like that's only like 150 years ago. Like we can
Right.
still understand each other.
My mother lives in a historic like little house in historic Newcastle. So she lives in like one of these Mason lodges that like George Washington used like in Delaware. So that's like where she lives, and it's definitely haunted. But it's definitely like the kind of haunted where I'm like, y'all ain't taller than me.
Right.
Yeah,
I was gonna say New England. As growing up in New England, there is headless horseman type
Yeah.
of territory where it's not more ghosts.
Oh, that's a
it's
good
not
one.
like
That's a solid
But
ghost.
it's like it's Sleepy Hollow ghosts because literally Sleepy Hollow that shit took place in I think New York.
yeah,
And
upstate.
there's and like it's Lizzie Borden. It's like the cemetery down the street from me on a foggy day was just straight up Sleepy Hollow shit. So like we have that sort of haunted, you know.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
also
yeah,
got that
that's
New
true.
Orleans. We got the New Orleans,
Oh,
Marie
yeah.
Laveau. Like we got some
Yeah.
gruesome shit here,
We got
but
some
I'm
good
saying
stuff.
like I think the 70s were like probably America's best time for like if you're gonna pick a era for like ghosts to be from because that's when all the serial killers were
Okay.
around.
Oh yeah,
What are we doing?
Okay, sorry.
we're talking about ghosts.
So this movie looks really good.
Yeah, this looks really good. People watch. It's about a woman is investigating, I think, a murdered childhood friend on this haunted moor.
There's like
I'm very
miniature
excited for it.
Stonehenge. 5 children disappeared over the course of however many period of time it is. It just looks all spooky.
And when
Yeah.
he says it looks like the witch, there's like some freaky goat shit. There's
Yeah.
like a goat with crazy eyes, like the rabbit in the witch.
So to be clear, I don't think
Coked
this
out
takes.
rabbit.
I don't think this takes place in the past, and I'm not
No,
sure if
no,
anything.
it doesn't
No.
look like it does.
It's just the
But-
vibe is gothic horror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I just think it's gonna like combust into weirdness.
Here's
I
my
get
hot
that
take.
vibe.
I
Uh-huh.
don't think it's going to be anything horror in it. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's revealed that there's like nothing, like it's all psychological horror.
I will say that it is a horror movie. The reviews
Mm-hmm.
are saying there's apparently some found footage stuff in this movie, which you
Okay.
wouldn't know from watching the trailer.
I thought
Which
there
is
was a
interesting.
shot or two that looked like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, part of her investigation, I think she's like filming. it
Yeah,
or
yeah, like you
something.
see somebody move around a corner or something. Anyway, Blair
I'm
Witch.
trying, to see, I'm trying to see if
Uh,
I've noticed this director from anything else, but I don't think so. Writer. Let's
No,
see.
they're new
Okay,
ish. Well, they're new to me.
new to me.
Let's talk about Return to Silent Hill.
Oh,
Speaking
gosh.
of fog,
Oh my god!
this is I
Oh,
went on
man.
a journey here.
Oh, man. You did.
You guys-
yeah.
You guys remember
I
the
started-
sequel? The Silent
I
Hill?
do remember
Yeah.
the sequel, yeah.
Kid Harington.
Uh-huh.
Early.
So
And Sean
I re-
Bean reunited at last.
oh fuck.
Pre Game of Thrones, right?
No, this was during Game of Thrones.
Oh my god! Incredible! Incredible!
No.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
agree with you, Tom. This trailer looked cheesy, and so I looked it
Yeah.
up. I was like, okay, what direct to fucking DVD director made this? This is the director of the first one, which is nuts because for people who don't realize, the first one is great.
Yeah.
It
It's
has some of the
not
best
bad.
practical effects.
Yeah.
It's so
The
good.
story
and
is
it's-
good. The story is
Yeah.
very solid. Yeah.
and it's from the director of Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is another movie that fucks.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is he up to? He has made since 2001. He made Brotherhood of the Wolf, Silent Hill, his French Beauty and the Beast that no one saw, and this. That's it. That's all he's done in like 20 fucking years.
Well, you guys know who wrote Silent Hill, right?
Enough.
Is it the same writer? Because you know who wrote Silent
No,
Hill.
I don't. Yeah, no.
Roger Avery.
Who's that?
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah,
Pulp
that is.
Fiction.
Did he directed not Confessions. Don't tell me. James Van Der Beek as Sean Bateman.
Oh yeah. I always have such a
Rules of Attraction.
Rules of Attraction. Yeah. He's a big name. Like, but he did the first one. I'm not sure if he did the second or if he's doing this one. I just I hadn't realized that he was the writer for the first Silent Hill movie. That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. True Romance,
unexpected,
Reservoir
yeah.
Dogs. Yeah, like got those uncredited writing credits for them.
This has 3 writers, including the director attached. None of them are Roger Avery.
Okay.
All of that aside, like, this looks terrible. Like,
It's
it
not a
looks
good
like
trailer.
a fan film.
I thought
It's
it
like
was
a teaser.
the first parts of it. I thought were a video game. Like
Yeah.
the first couple of these shots, I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is like a pretty good rendition of a video game. I thought maybe they were just doing like an Until Dawn thing of revamping the original gameplay. But
Did the original Silent Hill bomb?
yeah, well, it's during that weird
Probably.
era.
I don't know.
It's a weird era, 2006, of like horror where we didn't really know what we were
That's
doing
the
yet.
thing. It was horror was terrible, and that's why I remember this movie because it stood out as being like good. I'm just curious because this director has done so little, and Brotherhood of the Wolf. It wasn't his first film, but it was his first like American hyped movie, and it was so strong that I'm like, why isn't he making more? And that it either means that he's having a hard time or he doesn't want to, right?
Yeah.
Or he just works really slow. And so I was looking at this and I'm going like, maybe he just didn't get a budget. Maybe they just like, no one wanted to make this for whatever reason. Maybe he's very difficult or maybe he's a perfectionist. I don't know.
Well, do you remember
For
how
whatever reason, he's made very few movies.
Do you
and
remember
that
how
bothers me.
the first Silent Hill ended? It ended on a really dark, the first Silent Hill movie.
Oh, I
was
loved
really
it.
Beautiful, haunting ending, very scary. It's like they live in an alternate reality now, the fog reality that even when they go home, they're still stuck in this Silent Hill universe and they're
I
like
think
occupying
that's
this.
chill.
Yeah,
That's
it's
very
pretty
cool.
rad ending. Yeah, love
So I
this.
You
wonder-
watch movies and stuff, right?
Sorry?
In the fog,
Yeah,
you can
probably.
still watch movies.
It probably
and
takes a
stuff.
little longer for stuff to come out there. You know, like
Yeah.
But I think like what's interesting then is the sequel didn't address any of that. So I wonder if he had the sequel taken away from him. He wasn't interested in making a sequel. This would imply, slow down, Drew. This would imply that he is interested in revisiting the world, and he always was. But they took the sequel away from him, and this is like his chance of like, bringing it back to the original film, and maybe the ending of the original film will play into it somehow.
So I looked up the director, and it looks like he's had a bunch of false starts. And it doesn't even seem like it's his fault. One of them had legal issues he was trying to do. So I wonder if that's it, if it's just like shitty luck. I don't know.
But it's funny that he would want to
making
come
movies
back.
are hard.
Yeah. Coming back to the movie that you didn't do the sequel for, but now you're revisiting again, like almost 2 decades later. That like is a very interesting psychology to me. Like he was just really into Silent Hill, couldn't let it go. Like,
He's
had to
been
come back.
thinking about it for the past
So
20
apparently
years.
this is not a direct sequel, according to an interview with him.
No, I didn't think.
to
Yeah,
the first one. So that's weird.
I think it
No,
exists
it looks
in the
like
same universe.
it looks like an adaptation of Silent Hill 2, almost
He-
directly.
he's comparing it to the Twilight Zone, where he's like, it's an anthology series more than. And I like that. I like that idea because it's like, yeah, different people show up to Silent Hill and have an adventure.
So what you're saying is it's a shared universe, Dave.
Yeah, they hang out
Sure.
with Pyramid Head or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
no,
hang
he's
out with
there.
Pyramid Head.
He's hanging out.
He looks svelte. Is that a baby Pyramid Head? Is that Mrs. Pyramid Head?
If you
a little
watch
trim,
the making
yeah.
of if you watch the making of Silent Hill, the first one, which I watched obsessively because it's such a well crafted movie, this guy who plays Pyramid Head is on like stilts, and he's plays a few things I think in it. They have a lot of like body actors for that movie because it's all costumes, but he's open-assed the whole time. You don't
Open-assed?
see it. You don't see it
Open-assed.
much on in the movie, but the costume had his bare ass just out the back like a hospital gown.
Oh my
So
God.
he was just on set with his ass out all the time.
awesome.
And it's very funny to me then that he probably watched the movie and went like, he didn't need my ass out at all. I didn't need
You
I had my
can't
ass
see
out.
my ass.
That is hilarious.
I picked up that quarter and everybody saw my anus and it was all for nothing.
Well, there's also like a lot of it's a medical vibe of that movie, right? Isn't there a lot of weird
Yeah,
looking nurses?
there's the weird hot nurses, yeah.
Well, when are they going to remake that Resident Evil starring me? The most recent Resident Evil movie that had a Drew coded character in it. I want that. I want that one made into a movie.
Watch that for the Drew coded character.
I don't know. Everyone kept like tagging me in Video Drew rather from Schmodown. People kept tagging me in memes for like the new,
That's really
2020, the 2020 silent or Resident Evil. There's a girl with a big hat.
Welcome to Raccoon City, right? That one.
It's whatever one had that woman with a big hat, and she was like goth. And weird.
The game.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
game.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah.
hat lady. Yeah.
Oh, Lady D. What was I forget?
Everybody
I
wanted
forget the
in on
vampire.
that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was like, "That's you."
I think is her name.
Domitress. Oh my god.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Lady D is all you need to know about that character. But yeah, people kept tagging me, being like, "That's Video Drew." So I want that
Amazing.
movie. I can play her.
All right.
Do it.
Make it happen, Silent Hill.
Yeah, make
right.
it happen.
Let's thank some more producers, Dave.
Yeah, let's do it. Big old thank you to David Knife Boot
Knife Boot.
Henson. Thank you to Deborah is awesome. Barbara is great, and cancer can go to hell.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Disposable Ninjas Inc.
Thank you.
Yeah, open now. Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Driftless, Lord of the Wasteland, wants you to just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just walk away. Thank you to Ed Nog.
Thank you.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Funky Jim, mostly comes out at night, mostly.
Thank you.
Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Highlander, likes the way Tom says pretty sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ombre.
Thank you. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to ImpossibleWorlds.net, a magazine, and there's a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Jay the Crow Baron says, build a guillotine in rich people's yard, 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to Lieutenant Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
Thank you.
Thank you to Look Mime on a podcast.
Thank
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Mercurial.
You're at Mike.
Oh,
Okay, thank you
gosh.
to Mike the Helldiver.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Tell Your Wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house.
Thank you. Movie news. Ellie Fanning cast in the new Predator. I have a dumb question.
Yeah,
Who is Ellie Fanning again?
Elle Fanning.
She's-
She's from The
Elle.
Great.
She's
Oh,
the
good for
sister
her.
of the other one.
She's from the Fanning Empire.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. You know, an emissary from the Fanning Empire. No, she's on The Great. She was in Super 8.
She is
Yeah,
off my radar. I haven't seen The Great yet.
Isn't she the one that's in the new M. Night movie, or is that the other one?
It's the other one. And
Gotcha.
that's the, not M. Night, it's his daughter. The
That's
Watchers is, I think, what it's called.
Right.
The Watchers not getting great reviews. Yeah, I'm looking at her. She's in so much stuff that
Yeah, she's
I just
great.
missed, like Maleficent and all that. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I never saw those movies. I could run into her and not know that she's anything. So
Yeah.
anyway, she's in the new Predator by the guy who did Prey.
Yeah, Dan Trachtenberg. This one is that we don't know anything about what it's about yet, but it's apparently
It's
in the
called
future.
Badlands.
Yeah, it's called Badlands.
Future relative to Prey or future relative
To us, I think.
To us.
Ooh, so it's probably post-apocalyptic, like Badlands. Oh, God,
That would be
Furiosa.
cool.
give this guy.
That would be cool.
Give this guy 20 predators.
yeah,
he seems
he's
like
just putting them in fucking.
it's like the scene in Arrested Development where Job is like rapid firing all the ideas. I'm imagining him doing that with predators. It's just like Predator in the future, Predator in a mall, Predator like mall in the 80s, Predator. Like I'm imagining that, and like they're like yes,
Yeah.
let's do every single one.
Look,
Let's do
I think-
every single one.
I think that he's got a pretty good track record. I know that was he the one that did No One's Coming to Save You or No One Will Save You?
He did 10 Cloverfield
Yeah.
Lane.
And he did the Prey one, right? I showed my mom Prey, and
Yeah.
my God, halfway through, she looked at me and she goes, isn't that a predator? And I was like, yeah, you got it. She just looked at me so confused. She was like, this is a predator movie? And I was like, don't tell her.
Predator.
She's like, it looks like one of those predators. And I was like, it is. And she was like, oh, wow. She really loved it. She watches movies worse than I do in terms of talking. But, yeah, she really loved that movie. And I loved Prey. I loved Prey.
It's pretty rad, yeah.
It's pretty fucking good. I have a really cool poster of that one, too. And Amber Midthunder is fucking phenomenal in it. So do whatever you want. I'm not as big of a fan of Elle Fanning, but, you know, Neon Demon was fine. And so was Maleficent, I guess.
Sure. I mean, I have nothing for or against her on account of me never seeing anything she's been in, apparently.
Yeah, the sister was from
until
Twilight.
this will be the first one.
That's true, yeah. Dakota is in Twilight.
Good for her.
This next story really bummed me out.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask, is Midthunder doing stuff? I looked it up, and the answer is yes. Yeah, so this is that story. This came out of the Wall Street Journal, I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter. That Disney is looking at Pixar and, like, because so many originals bombed, they're just going to do reboots and sequels for Pixar now. They're just going to blast a bunch out.
Yeah.
WALL-E 2, I assume.
Just real quick, reading the quotes in the article just about the different things they're pitching and how they're talking about it. It's so depressing.
It's so depressing. However, you know that your guys' cracked theory about like the shared universe of Pixar, this is all based on that. Somebody saw that video from After Hours about how the Pixar universe is connected, and they're like, okay, we're just
multiverse.
It's again shared universe. Now we're just gonna complete the timeline, I guess.
I've been thinking about Pixar, and I after reading this news, I thought about it for like a day. Mm-hmm. And I wish what I'm about to say is smarter after thinking about it for a day. But like when Pixar started, it was valued because it was the first and kind of only CGI children's animation, right?
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, that was what made Pixar on the map. And it didn't
really
exist. Right.
Good.
And
but it was also very good.
But that was what first made it Pixar.
Yeah, that's what got you in the door, and then you watch Pixar, and it's really good.
Right, and then it became really good in a specific way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the second phase of Pixar was, all the adults are crying. You know, these are, really touching. But that wasn't what they were initially for. And this is all to say, it's weird to me how the evolution of these studios go, where you look at like Lucasfilm. Remember when Lucasfilm wasn't a Star Wars studio? It was a studio. It made Willow and Howard the Duck, and it quickly said, okay, I guess we are a Star Wars studio. But
and Indiana Jones, too.
Yeah. And so this is all to say that it's weird to look at Pixar and like think now and go like, what does it mean anymore? And Disney is very good at doing this, where like Disney has their branches, right? They have their Marvel now. They have their Lucasfilm, where it's like, we make X films. Like Marvel will always just make Marvel films.
It's not even films anymore. Like it was just like this is the Jenny Nicholson Star Cruiser experience, like personified, right? This is the Disneyfication, which like is a term in the dictionary, like the Disneyfication of so much of stuff that was originally original or unique in any way. It's just been commodified. I don't need to explain to your audience what the Disneyfication means, but like this is shit. Like
and
this
we're
shit
watching
is happening.
it because for a while we now think Pixar makes Pixar films, and what does that mean? It's got to be really meaningful. It's got to make you cry as an adult. There's a specific genre now, where like a Pixar film isn't a DreamWorks animation. This is a Pixar film. It's got to mean something.
This isn't Steve Jobs.
Well, and it's not only that it has to mean, like the big thing about Pixar is that they're so simple and so self-contained, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you think about it, it's so weird because ultimately they're just doing animation. They're just an animation studio. So it's like you look at this and now it's boiled down. It's like, you look at A24, and when an A24 horror movie comes out, you're like, that's going to be elevated in some way. It's that expectation. But it's like weird because it's like there's no Star Wars. There's no like single universe. But we have this expectation for Pixar. And since these new movies clearly aren't like making hits, because movies in general aren't making hits, it's so stupid of them to go like, well, just keep making the same movies.
Yeah, that's
over and over again. Let's just stagnate Pixar.
Or guys, it is the same universe. They just literally looked at it, said, okay, well this crack video is telling me all we need to know. We just need to connect WALL-E to Toy Story, and then we're there. We just have to fill in those blank holes.
Yeah, but it's just so it's so silly to watch something go from like this is just a studio that makes movies to this is we're like a thing. It's like
What's a
you know
theme
that
park,
stereotype
too, yeah.
of a when a sitcom character over 9 seasons becomes like a caricature.
A Flanderized version?
Yeah.
I think it's called Flanderized, yeah.
It's that where it's like Pixar is now this like weird hyper specific thing where I'm like, I don't know, Pixar, make an adult film. Make like a horror movie. Make an animated movie that's not for kids. You're an animation studio. That's all you are. They've pigeonholed themselves in this way that now it's like they're doomed to just make WALL-E 4. It's like this sucks.
Here's
Yeah,
my
it really
pitch.
sucks.
Make an anthology that is just those shorts that you play before Pixar movies. Give it to a bunch of different international directors to all have their take on like a 5 to 10 minute short. That's my pitch.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing I wanted to call out. I mean, yeah, that used to be kind of what was cool about Pixar. But like one of the quotes was like they wanted to get away from like they specifically call out like Turning Red and Luca, and they're like we want to get away from directors.
Diversity?
Yeah, basically. The way they phrase it is like we want to get away from directors working out their catharsis and go more towards a commonality of experience. And it was just
a white beige commonality.
Transparent what they were saying.
I mean, they said it earlier. Like Bob
Iger said there are too many messages and
too many
Marvel.
messages. Jesus Christ. Come on. Come on.
And that's what they're watching Jordan Peterson, and they're like, "DEI, that's the problem." Like that's what it feels like, right? They're just saying these coded
they're
things.
Just doubling down on IP. That's like everything they're saying. We're just going to look for either sequels or spin-offs, and then a new film that has specifically seeded franchise potential. Like that's how they're speaking about what this studio is going to create. And you're right, Dave. Thinking back to like the people who put together shorts and like the first Toy Story and stuff, like, you know, in the early to mid 90s, like how fucking sad is that? Like, this is what's
if you remember, it was a slow burn because if you remember when Disney bought Pixar, when Disney bought Pixar, everybody went, "Oh no!" And I remember there was a whole struggle behind the scenes where Pixar and Disney wanted sequels, and Pixar said no, and Pixar finally said like, "Okay, we'll do sequels, but we have to do them." And that was the compromise. And now it's like, no, that's all you're gonna do.
Well,
it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Where it's like,
that's true.
Here's my question: do they have a theme park representation yet? Like I don't know. They do.
Yeah, I think they have like
Pizza Planet.
They have a car. Yeah, there's a Cars ride.
Thing,
right. There's the Buzz Lightyear ride. Okay.
Yeah.
Radiator Springs.
I see this as part of their weird synergy. They're gonna try to build up the whole Pixar land, like, you know, experience. They're gonna do that
cinematic universe, like you said. I could see that shit.
Not the cinematic universe, the immersive universe for park goers.
It's just everything becomes Mickey Mouse under Disney, where it's like, again, I just keep going back to like. Remember, the beauty of Pixar was like they just made like a film a year, and it was always wildly different. And it was like, cool, what's the next thing going to be? And that's all. That's all. There were it's the same with Disney. Remember when Disney it's just like, oh, what's the new Disney princess? What's the new Disney film during the Renaissance?
Yeah.
Like that's all it was. And now they're like, everything has to make $1 billion and make a bunch of sequels, and everything has to be like this brand that's all fits together, and it's like you're just make movies, guys.
Did you guys
just make movies? You're an animation studio, make animated movies. That's it. That's all you have to do. I don't know. It feels like they've completely changed what it means to be a studio. It started with stuff like Marvel and Lucasfilm.
Did you guys read that Bob Iger piece that was in, like, I forget if it's Hollywood Reporter or Variety, but it was basically like, yeah, Rupert Murdoch really wasn't like the inspiration for Successions, or like really what didn't become the point of Succession. It was Iger. Like
I can see that
because like the whole thing of him coming back and who's going to succeed. Like now internally in Disney, there is a Succession like drama unfolding of like the multiple houses, like the people who are in charge of the parks. One of those guys wants to be it. Like there's all these different players that are vying for his position because now he definitely is going to retire. And I feel like that is sort of the lens in which I view Disney. It is all just like the kids from Succession. It's just this awful company with the parks department. Yeah. Cousin Greg's going to end up inheriting it all It's gonna be
Yeah,
like the
I
worst
always
thing
thought
possible.
Succession was very Disney because they
They
even
have
have a
parks.
part where they like fire their head of movies and stuff, like they're Kathleen Kennedy, like and they have parks and shit.
Cruises, their cruise line, that whole
Right.
storyline. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. That is Disney.
it is. It
Oh, sorry.
sucks. Should we talk about I Am Legend
Yeah,
2?
we should talk about I Am Legend too.
Y'all excited for I Am Legend 2?
No!
Will Smith is coming back. Michael
What?
B. Jordan will be there, I guess.
Wait, what? Why would they? Did they kill
They
him?
fucked
He
up.
very much exploded at the end of the first one, but
Yeah, he's gonna come back with as a
What?
robot. He's gonna Sith in.
yeah,
He's gonna be
have like an
Palpatine.
eye patch.
If he's
Yeah.
a robot, then the whole concept of how he's a legend. Oh, you know what? Never mind.
Don't
Here's
even
what
worry
I'm
about
gonna
it.
say.
Don't even worry
They-
about it.
Fine.
They already famously fucked up I Am
Yeah,
Legend.
they-
I Am
Yeah.
Legend is one of the worst
Adaptations.
ending team. Yeah,
Yeah.
It had, and they shot the original ending, and it was so good, and they fucked it right up. So to me, I'm just like, sure, man. Yeah, you piss on that grave. I don't give a fuck. Like that's just my feeling.
Are we putting Will
It's-
Smith in movies again? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
Or
why
is
not?
this okay? Well,
He's
because of
already
slap.
in
Because of
movies.
slap, he's not I don't know.
He's
I thought it was
in movies.
I know
They
he's in
got
Bad Boys.
He's got Bad Boys
Yes.
this weekend.
Sure.
I will say something though. This director, it's the director of I Am Legend 1.
Okay.
So they're bringing it back, and he is doing so many other things that I'm excited for. I'm just
Okay.
going to name them. He directed Constantine. You remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he is attached to Constantine 2.
IP.
He is also attached to BioShock.
Oh.
And more importantly, and there was an update on this recently, this is getting made, he is attached to The Long Walk. Tom, does that ping
Oh
your
my
brain?
God.
It does. I
This
love that
Stephen
book.
King?
Yeah.
I love that book.
Novella?
Yeah.
Is it a book or novella?
It's,
I thought it was a short.
It's I think it's long enough to technically be a book, but it is a very short book.
Yeah. I love that one.
So-
It's
It's
funny
great.
that he did The Running Man, but he also did The Long Walk. It's really good.
They're both
I
they're
know,
both
I-
Bachman books
yeah.
too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know, that just makes me very excited. There was an update about The Long Walk because apparently that's been in production hell.
Forever. Yeah.
that-
Frank Darabont had it for a while.
Ooh, that would have been good.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked about it then.
Yeah.
I am stoked about this guy doing BioShock. I'm also like, yeah, I could see him doing a good BioShock.
Yeah, sure.
That's one of those that could be a TV show, honestly. But I could
Bioshock
see
is
that.
a Bioshock they're gonna do as a movie.
Yeah,
What is the Among Us? That's a movie or TV show?
that's a TV
That's
show.
a TV show.
I can
This
see
is-
BioShock being a good movie too, honestly, because I don't remember BioShock being so complex. That
There's a
you don't
lot.
get-
There's a lot
you
of
get the gist.
backstory. Like you could do like the fall of Rapture as a TV show, and that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Anyway.
terms though of the message, where you're like, got it, libertarians got it. Like it's cool.
Well, here's my hot take once again. I think it's the same hot take as from before, which is like, I'm not that mad about the IP shared universe thing. Like, you can keep making, like, Among Us could be really good if they get the right cast. Fallout was great. You know, like, you could, Silent Hill could be good or bad. Like, it doesn't, to me, like, what it's based on, or if it's a remake, or if, like, the same people are attached is less important to me than, like, approaching it from brand new eyes and being like, is this a standalone great product? Like Mario, the new Mario Brothers movie? No. Old Mario Brothers movie? Fantastic. That
Perfect.
was
They
such an
should've been
original
one of
take.
those, yeah.
Perfect
Perfect
film.
film.
Perfect.
Perfect. Because like what a swing.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah. Let's thanks for more producers
Do it.
then. Big old thank you to musical guest Darius Rucker.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you to Pete Forpagel.
Thank you.
Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silicol Volcanoconiosis Anti-Disestablishment Terranism Jones.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you to pre-order Jason Pargin's new book so he could keep making big feeds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Psychic Bigfoot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More like Venom Horse Pyramid. Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Steven.
Thank you. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to the conveniently placed self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you to the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you to the midnight patron. What patrons at midnight?
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you to the municipal medicinal arsonist.
Thank
Thank you to the
you.
oatmeal savage.
Thank
Thank you to the Tubi Terror Bunny. Thinks you could use more Rutger Hauer in your media diet.
Thank you.
Thank you to
you.
these 7 Bs.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
to Tux.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank
Thank
Thank you to
you.
Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon.
Yeah.
Thank you to Yorgos from the island of Crete.
Thank you.
And thanks to your mom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Real quick, guys. I want to cell phone for a second. I did pretend like Jason Peregrine is my friend to my sister because she was just asking me if I've read John Dies at the End, and I was like, Reddit. I know that guy, but like not really. I know him like through you, and he likes some of my tweets sometimes. But I was like, no, like me and him are close.
All
Like,
right, we'll introduce you. We'll hook you up.
I love his like TikTok. They're so funny.
Dave,
Yeah.
I need you to cut the shit. It's long past time for that shit to be cut. It's had plenty of time to cool on the windowsill.
Yeah.
And I need you to tell me if you have a movie that deserves more hype.
I have two.
What?
Yeah. I was gonna just do one. All right. Well, let's just do one at a time here. You'll understand. I had one in the bag, and then I was just looking for trailers, and I ran into this first one, and I went, okay, fine. Drew's on. We got to do that quills. We got to get that quills.
Oh
in
God,
there.
I didn't realize it. Yeah,
This
it's got
is-
quills.
It's got some quills in it. This is the Vordelac. It's French. This is coming out this month. That's also why I was like, I have to fucking June 28th, limited theaters. This is based off a book that came before Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I only point out because this is a vampire movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's about like some fucking silly Frenchmans.
He's like a
it's
fop
like
or something, like a
yeah.
Yes, he
Again,
does
it's
a
a
little
like-
dance.
like a Barry Lyndon type or something. Like
This
a-
was well. I'm glad you mentioned that. This was shot in Super 8 or Super 16 millimeter with natural lighting. So because I looked at this and my first instinct was like, oh, is this a re-release of an old movie? No, they just made this. This is about some French nobleman who is attacked in the countryside, and he finds refuge in this like old scary mansion. And the family, the man of the house, the father, isn't there yet, and the family is weird, and I guess the father is out fighting a battle or something, and said that if he doesn't come back, he'll be a fucking vampire or something. He says
Yeah.
if he returns after 6 days, then he will be a vampire. And then sure enough, this motherfucker shows up as a vampire. Portrayed as it's all done with puppets. It's all practical
oh my
effects.
God, that's why
It's
it's
like-
so bad.
Yeah,
Creepy.
he
Yeah,
looks-
it's like Nosferatu ass.
He looks
vampires.
so fucking scary.
But what's
Yeah.
cool about it is it's got that Midnight Mass vibe where it's like they don't have a word yet for vampires because again, like this is pre-Nosferatu, so they're just like this thing that drinks the blood of its close family member. I guess in this lore.
They call it a carrion, I think is what they call it.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! And it only like it doesn't drink anyone's blood. It specifically likes to torture its own family members. There was a Chilean movie on Netflix that looked really good that had a very similar premise that I think was called The Dictator pretty recently.
Oh yeah, where they reimagine. Gosh, who was it? They reimagine a real life guy as a vampire. We covered it on
Yeah.
Hypecast. I forget who it is.
Yeah. I want to
But
see
yeah,
that.
yeah, I want to watch that. Yeah.
Yeah. This is described in one review as a Roger Corman stab at Edgar Allan Poe. And I'm like, hell
That's
yeah.
awesome.
It's described as unironically campy, I guess. And then also like kind of creepy and serious too. And so I'm like,
Yeah, that vampire looks
Fuck,
really
man.
cool.
It looks like
Yeah, it
Argento doing Kubrick, if that makes any sense. Like
It
looks,
does.
that's what gave me the vibes of.
yeah, people, I mean, this is one where it's like, okay, fucking watch the trailer. It's
Yeah,
really hot. It's all vibes, but it's like a Nosferatu style vampire.
There's
like
a little bit of an
bony
Evil
ass.
Dead vibe in there too.
Yep, that's in the review. There's a few reviews that bring up Evil Dead a little bit.
I don't like to read reviews because I don't like to read the synopsis in case I get it, like in case I'm spoiled. But it also seems like maybe the guy they mentioned like maybe the guy brought this in with him. Like maybe there's something wrong with him.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because he got attacked on the road. So I'm like, did he get bit?
Or maybe
Yeah.
maybe he's the original vampire.
Maybe,
and
yeah.
he's just like, yeah. I don't know.
So the Vordalak, I'm probably saying it wrong. Vourdalak.
WondLa.
Google that, and you'll get this fucking French ass film that looks sweet. And if you're in a major city, it'll probably be available this month, maybe a little longer for streaming. But this looks legit, and yeah. So this is all to say that we all saw In a Violent Nature, right? Because when this only just dropped on YouTube.
Yep. Like yesterday.
And so, yeah, this was when I saw this before In a Violent Nature. I literally wrote it down and went, okay, that's already more hype. For me.
There it is. Yeah.
I screamed. I screamed so loud when it came on for the director. This is what I tweeted about. But I screamed so loud that I startled the entire AMC 16 10:45 screening. And then when something came on screen during this trailer, I screamed even harder and fist bumped. And I was with Lon, and he was looking at me like I was fucking nuts.
Drew.
Yeah.
Drew, cut the shit.
Yeah.
Do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
Yeah, it's Oddities, guys. It's the Caveat cinematic universe. Finally.
I loved
good.
Caveat. This is the
Caveat's
director
pretty
of
sick.
Caveat's next film,
It's
Oddity.
And
not
the
even just
rabbit, isn't it?
the rabbit's
Yes.
in it. I think it's an SCP. I think that we're entering his SCP era, guys. Which
Yeah.
is to say,
It's what?
SCP. Like the secure, contain, protect. It's that Wikipedia style horror thing. It's almost like creepypasta, but it's an ongoing collection. Oh my god, I'm not going to explain SCPs, but basically haunted artifacts.
I love that he has two films, and they're both based off of the creepiest fucking objects you could find. Because this one has a new addition.
Yeah, that
It's a
mannequin.
wood mummy mannequin. That's horrifying. When I saw it in the
damn
trailer,
it.
It's got a bunch of them.
God.
If you notice, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
shot with I think this place collects those artifacts. The one from Caveat and others.
It makes me think of
Cabin in the Woods there.
The Conjuring, where they have that room of creepy objects, and then you look at this and you go this blows that immediately out of the water. Where it's you want a creepy object, this is what a creepy object looks like.
Like Cabin in the Woods or something. I just to back up, if you guys haven't seen Caveat, I credit myself with having brought this movie to a little bit more of a mainstream attention than it got, because I tweeted about how it's literally a perfect film, and then the guy who runs Fangoria retweeted it, and then it blew up as a tweet. And I feel like a bunch more people. I said it was the scariest movie I'd seen. It kept me up at night. And then I started DMing with the director, who I don't think is on Twitter anymore, but he was telling me how he was taking a David Lynch masterclass and all this stuff, and how happy he was that people were recognizing it, because they just buried it on Shudder. I don't know anybody else who had seen that movie.
We covered it. We covered it in More Hype,
Yeah.
I believe.
That might have been where I first heard about it then, because I remember scrolling past Shudder and seeing that bunny. By the way, guys, Caveat's pretty
sick.
incredible. It's incredible. Go check it out on Shudder. But just realize that the bunny in it is not it's not the Annabelle, but there is it's more of a signifier of something that's going to happen. It's something you'd use as a device. That's why I think SCPs come to mind, because it's a Euclid level device that you can use to detect supernatural stuff. It's a very tight premise. It's almost just plays as a thriller, but there's a couple of real great jump scares, very low budget, and the director clearly had put real time and effort into crafting this kind of
so good
lockbox. Yeah,
making me feel uncomfortable. Caveat made me feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
it
terrifying.
was really edge of my seat. Moments where I went nope,
Yep,
no.
Nope.
Yeah. I was
And this movie
under the
looks no
covers.
different.
Yeah.
I
Oh
will.
God, yeah,
I will
yeah.
give. I'm gonna give the elevator pitch with this movie. If you, I'm gonna say a little bit. This is mostly what's in the trailer. It starts with a stranger at the door of this woman of this creepy house, and he's creepy himself, and he's like, "Let me in," and it's like the Man in the Hook story,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Yeah.
a
And he's
solid
Yeah.
offer. Yeah.
yeah, and he says there's somebody in there with you, and she doesn't believe him, and she's dead. That's the opening offer, and it's her twin sister, who is psychic, showing up to find out what actually happened with her
And
in this house. And she has these objects that she is connected to. Their psychic. So I think that's the idea. This is the bunny is
I
like her
see.
Annabelle.
well,
She
no, I
touches
think it's
things. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you see that in the
she touches
beginning.
objects.
She can touch the eyeball. The guy has a fake eye. But I think it's more that her sister was working at a place, because they talk about something about patience, and I think they might be referring to the objects. It seems like it is almost like an SCP universe. They are a containment facility for weird stuff, and they're
Yes,
holding
they-
on to a bunch of things. And it's
The wooden man is, I think, a tool she uses.
Yeah.
Because it's a gift from her mother by a witch, is what she says.
Yeah.
And so I think that's not a cursed object. That's her psychic buddy. I'm guessing that helps her along.
Well, they all are. That's what the bunny was too. In Caveat,
Right.
they're used to connect to the other side. So think about the talk to me hand. They're not in themselves dangerous. They're useful objects, but they are very creepy.
Yes.
And Caveat and there seems to be a similar dynamic in Caveat, which was about like this guy being hired to go stay at this house of his landlord's niece, and he has to wear this weird
It's a rope harness.
Yeah, rope harness around like a weird suit, because she's scared of men, but she's also like somewhat comatose sometimes and has like a weird deal, and there's maybe ghosts. But this kind of a similar premise, which is you see the dad and the niece of the girl who's still alive, the sister who's still alive, having a conversation, and it almost looks like they're in cahoots somehow, or maybe like involved in some way beyond what the sister knows about. And she obviously has a weirdly precarious relationship with her brother-in-law. So I'm wondering if it is just sort of like replaying a dynamic from Caveat, or if this is just like these objects are part of this Caveat extended universe. Like it's more than an Easter egg. Yeah.
See, I think it'll be more. It would be an Easter egg, but like I don't think we're gonna get any Caveat lore in this. I think it's gonna be more like this. I think it's gonna be more like connected universe, but without like, I don't know, because this plot seems like it's enough. I want to read 2 review quotes. Okay. Neither of them give away plot points.
Okay.
It may only be March, but I'm willing to bet Oddity is one of the scariest movies of the year. McCarthy took what he accomplished with Caveat and turned it up to 11 to deliver a good old-fashioned ghost story designed to keep you up at night.
Yes!
Second one. All right, they describe a sequence, and I won't describe the sequence, even though they don't even describe it. They describe it broadly, but then they say, the moment is so effective, it may even prompt some viewers to keep the light on at home just to be on the safe side. And so the keep you up at night and keep a light on, to me, implies the exact same feeling that Caveat gave.
Has, yeah.
I think my tweet about Caveat was, this is the first movie since I was a child to make me stay under the covers the entire night. I was so fucking terrified of the one single shot or 2 single shots in Caveat are so terrifying.
It's just good old-fashioned horror. And what I mean by that is, like, it might be a little elevated, it might be about stuff, but mostly it's just about how can we fucking scare you and just make you feel deeply uncomfortable or tense and make it spooky.
Yeah, I mean,
spook you up.
This Caveat almost didn't need to be a horror movie. It could have just had this suspense element of, like, this guy who he also doesn't have a short-term memory. There's this whole, kind of almost like a play that plays out. And it didn't need to have the horror element. And the horror elements, when they come in, are very sparsely done, but so effective that it just makes the case that, like, this guy should be given. Yeah. It reminds me of Benson and Moorhead, Like,
another director that comes to mind for me is Samuel Bowden, who did Cobweb.
Yes.
It's the Samuel Bowden who also did Marianne, where it's like just good old fashioned fucking, I'm going to creep you the fuck out. It's just such visuals that are so well done.
The other one I was thinking about is Demian Rugna. I think I'm saying that wrong. The guy who did Horrified.
Yeah.
And When Evil Lurks. And those two are apparently set in the same universe. But again, like, they don't connect in any very straight way. You have to kind of put together the pieces about how one of them's set after the first one. And it's just the same world. But Benson and Moorhead also came to mind, like The Endless being related to Resolution, and like all their movies exist in a single universe that they have on a Google Drive somewhere, which is very cool. Like, they have their own shitty call. It's called Cinematic Universe. But I love that when I interviewed them once for Fangoria, and they were talking about how they weren't that interested, it seemed like, at the time, of doing more Marvel stuff. This was right after Loki was announced. They were like, we're not that interested. We have our own cinematic universe that we have, like, splayed out on, like, a so many Google Drive documents and things about how things work in our universe, even if the movies don't always seem connected. They, like, have like a whole bubble world set up, and I think that's just really cool. And I'm hoping that's what this guy has. This is just sort of like the cabin in the woods containment section of this universe that can, like, kind of like The Conjuring. Like, you can go off and do the Annabelle thing or do another haunted object. But this is connected. Yeah.
I just think it looks good.
It looks amazing. I'm so fucking happy. I'm only saying this because this is my hope. This is my fan hope, as somebody who's just the biggest fucking Caveat fan.
Well, you love cinematic universes too, we've noticed. You connect everything.
Yeah, I like it when things are connected. They can just be thematic connections. David Lynch, I think it's all one universe. It works for me,
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well,
yay!
Oddity.
Guys, go watch Caveat.
Oddity.
It's on Shudder. Go watch
do it. And I think that's a sewed. We've done it.
Woo!
Drew, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be on after I tweeted about how much I screamed during this trailer. Thank you, guys.
Of course.
I love doing the show. Love
Would
it.
you like to do pluggies again?
Yeah, I'll do another little pluggy. Check out Passion Fruit. The website is passionfruit.it. But I think you can find us at passionfruit4, the number 4, us on social media. That's where we're at. We also have a Patreon. I think it's Passion Fruit for us. If my computer was working, I'd be able to touch it right now and see exactly what our Patreon is. But I'll tell you guys, and you guys can put in the link at the bottom of the show notes, I'm sure. Check us out. We're about giving creators the opportunity to learn how to become small businesses and basically have the ability and agency to fight for better rights than they currently have. I'm really on that kick. So yeah, check that out. We also do really good stories, and
Do it.
It's a really fun place to be.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, do
Check
it.
it out.
Cool. Check it out. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULLY, unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there. For just $5 a month, you get access to Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder's a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night as well on our Discord. We have a lovely community. We watch only the best movies.
Only the
good
finest.
movies.
Only the finest pieces of cinema.
Yeah.
We also have a store. Head over to GamefullyUnemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store where we have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So slap your odd little peepers onto that.
Yeah, your wooden
Fucking
weird peepers.
You little freaks. You
Thought
I
it was
love that he's in like
rabbit
a
freaks.
scream position.
I thought it was Rickety Cricket from Always.
That would have been amazing.
Oh, he could easily become the subject of a horror movie, a haunted.
He would be
like,
the
that's
one
a ghost.
haunting the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's an angry ghost. He's
Yeah.
got angry ghost all over him.
All right. Say goodbye,
All right.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. Find him on Twitter at @thecorlew or go to shipwrecksailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is by Michael Vincent Bramley. For more of his work, go to mvbramley.art. Episode artwork is by Justin Brown. Available on Twitter as @JustinTBrown or at artnessbyjustinbrown.com. And finally, additional artwork by Starlene Hodge. You can find her work at starlenearts.com or Twitter @StarleneX. Goodbye now.